When I'm sending drones to surveil highly sensitive sites, I like to use extremely bright beacon and strobe lights to make sure that every knuckle-dragging drooler in a 200-mile radius can spot them. Exactly. Drone panic has brought in some of the silliest motherfuckers in here.
Frustrated by a lack of answers, the Fed saying, quote, many of the reported drone sightings are in fact manned aircraft being misidentified as drones. But information remains thin, leading to growing questions and theories about those objects in the sky. NBC's Sam Brock has more in our Sunday Focus.
This music is so funny.
What is that?
The last time this many people had their eyes trained on the sky, they were watching April's solar eclipse. Now, something much more mysterious has their attention. Drones seemingly everywhere this week.
This is crazy how fast this thing's moving now.
With sightings reported in at least 5 states, New Jersey alone recording up to 180 per night.
How many would you say are above us right now?
Residents both curious and alarmed.
There was like a humming sound at first, and I was like, it sounded like a helicopter. I was like, it wasn't strong enough to be a helicopter.
Some lawmakers say they've been left in the dark.
I've been a little frustrated. There hasn't been enough transparency, letting people know what's happening. It's allowing a lot of potentially misinformation to spread, or at least fear.
And New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew making this claim.
Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. These are from high sources. I don't say this lightly.
But the Pentagon has shot down that idea. For their part, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security say there is no national security threat and no evidence of foreign influence. But then, what is going on?
Coming right above my house.
One popular theory, the U.S. government is flying these drones as part of a top-secret program, something the Secret Service denies. Frank Fogluzzi served as Assistant Director for Counterintelligence at the FBI.
Is it the federal government that's testing something? Do you think there's any credence to that?
The public is going to jump to a conspiracy theory. And by the way, I understand that. If they're going to think, look, we're not getting all the facts. This can't be that the government doesn't have answers. It must be that they're covering up some secret testing program.
The FAA is the agency in charge of creating drone regulations, but they may not have all the tools they need for enforcement.
This is yet another example of technology getting out in front of us. And now we're wondering, who's in charge?
And some of those drones are reportedly quite large. A recreational drone is typically around 1 to 2 feet in diameter, but these mysterious drones are said to measure up to 6 feet, roughly the size of a...
The other part of this is like, who measured them? Like, people just, the people that say these drones are definitely 6 feet are ironically the very same people that think planes are fucking drones. You know what I mean? I'm not so convinced that they've seen hella 6 feet drones. I have yet to see any of these fucking drones in broad daylight. I don't understand where these flying fridges are, and yet they've yet to be captured by you know, all of these math equations maybe.
A refrigerator. Drone capabilities are also expanding. Police now use them for crowd control and to assist first responders.
Put the weapon down.
Soldiers deploy them on battlefields around the world. The worst case scenario, a terror strike.
Make no bones about it. When you get to a certain size and capacity to actually carry weaponry, you're talking about the potential for violent attack.
Yet another reason Fogluzzi says the time for Congress to act is right now, updating drone laws and coordinating federal response efforts. As these nighttime phantoms flying around neighborhoods continue to worry residents and spark more conversations about why they're there.
And Sam joins me now live from New Jersey. Sam, good morning. It's great to see you. As you know from talking to people there, many are not satisfied with this nothing to see here message from federal officials. So what else is being done to identify the drones or whatever they may be?
Sure, Willie. So first of all, the FBI says there is no timeline with regards to the investigation, but they clearly, Willie, have heard the calls for more information from people throughout this region. There was a conference call.
Why are you covering these drones so much? It's so inconsequential. Why do you feel the need to fucking constantly chirp at what I decide to cover? Why can't you just fucking enjoy the show? You know what I mean? Come on, you immediately disregard everything. Luigi or this. On the Spectrum 2005. Yeah, I didn't disregard Luigi. I just disregarded that, like, the 286 narrative has any sort of serious, that there's like any sort of serious thing happening. Same chatter who's like, nah, I believe that Luigi actually was doing something with that 286 number.
over the weekend that involved the FBI, the FAA, the Department of Defense, the Department of Homeland Security. Some really crucial nuggets coming out of that. Some of the highlights: they received about 5,000 tips to their national tip line. They say roughly 100 of them or less were actually actionable, which is to say fewer than 2% of all of the calls. There is also apparently a huge coinciding, Willie, between the reports that are coming in, the density of those reports, and the flight patterns for LaGuardia, Newark airports. So they're seeing potentially the narrative supported that people might be confusing manned aircraft for drones. You also have another sort of nugget here that was pretty crucial. There's no evidence of a connection between what's been seen in the greater New York, New Jersey area and other parts of the country. All of that to lead to the fact that the FBI says there might be a slight overreaction here, but there are...
About the 6 feet claim, from a recent NBC article, eyewitness report, social media videos, officials confirm the drones are up to 6 feet in diameter, can quickly go from emitting eerie lights to no light at all, and often avoid detection. Why do they emit any lights whatsoever if they're spying drones? 6-foot drone for sale. The Aurelia X8 Max, ready to fly. To turn off lights to hide from cop drones? What are you talking about? Why would they have the lights on to begin with then? Why? Why do they have the lights on to begin with if they're here to spy on us? Vloggers getting B-roll or government conspiracy? Probably aliens. When I'm sending drones to surveil highly sensitive sites, I like to use extremely bright beacon and strobe lights to make sure that every knuckle-dragging drooler in a 200-mile radius can spot them. Exactly. Like, why the fuck? Are you in on it too? Yeah, I'm in on it, dude. I'm in on it. I have the technological prowess of a goddamn caveman or an ape. But I'm secretly a part of this vast conspiracy of drones that are being unleashed upon American military bases. And perhaps more importantly, like Bellevue, New Jersey, and the important cultural landmarks that exist there, like the Wawa down the street. And I know that we have to hide the truth. We must hide the truth. We must shelter the American public from this secret conspiracy.
Real-world consequences. On Friday, about 90 minutes outside of New York City, an airport had to shut down one of its runways for roughly an hour because of drone sightings. The governor of the state, Kathy Hochul, saying that this now has gone too far, Willie.
Wow, it is so fascinating and still a lot of answers to be had here. We'll continue to stay on it. Sam, thanks so much.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Let's bring in Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining us this morning. Can you clear up the confusion here?
Absolutely, George, and thank you very much for having me. There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology.
It's so funny because this motherfucker operates drones along the border. Like, that's what the Department of Homeland Security does. Fuck you think they do? They have drones that operate all alongside the fucking border, the U.S.-Mexico border. They're engaging in mass surveillance in real time, all the time.
To assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings. Some of those drone sightings are, in fact, drones. Some are manned aircraft that are commonly mistaken for drones. And we do see duplicative reporting. But there's no question that drones are being sighted. Let me set the record straight here, George. There are thousands of drones flown every day in the United States. Recreational drones, commercial drones. That is the reality. And in September of 2023, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, changed the rules so that drones could fly at night. And that may be one of the reasons why now people are...
I've yet to see one convincing video of like a 6-foot drone. I'm not even saying that there aren't any. And I'm not saying that there aren't probably like, what do you call it? I'm not saying that there aren't probably like fucking, you know, defense contractors just like testing out their new technology. Okay. Half of the UAP sightings from like Navy officers or whatever is usually just that. Okay. Half of the UFOs that they spot are basically just that. The notion that there are vast swarms of like foreign adversaries that are sending drones to investigate the regular citizens of New Jersey seems insane.
Than they did before, especially from dawn to dusk. And so that is the reality. But I want to assure the American public that we are on it. We are working in close coordination with state and local authorities. And it is critical, as we all have said for a number of years, that we need from Congress additional authorities to address the drone situation. Our authorities currently are limited, and they are set to expire. We need them extended and expanded.
What exactly do you need?
We want state and local authorities to also have the ability to counter drone activity under federal supervision. That is one important element that we have requested, and we've heard it echoed by the state and local officials themselves.
You know, President-elect Trump has put out a post on this. I want to put it up on the screen.
Never let a good conspiracy crisis go to waste, chap. Oh, man. I guess we have to get more police funding to combat the drones. I guess we have to expand the surveillance state to combat the drones. Anytime you guys will get whipped up into a fucking frenzy, anytime the average American gets whipped up into a frenzy, these motherfuckers will use it as an opportunity to expand the already vast surveillance state.
Screen right now. He says, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know and now, otherwise shoot them down. Your response?
Well, we are aware of the drone sightings, as I've said. I think there are more than 8,000 drones flown every day in the United States. With respect to the ability to incapacitate those drones, we are limited in our authorities. We have certain agencies within the Department of Homeland Security that can do that, and outside our department. But we need those authorities expanded as well.
Are there any legitimate national security concerns here? For example, have you seen any evidence at all, especially in these recent sightings in the Northeast, of any kind of foreign involvement?
We have not seen any foreign, we know of no foreign involvement with respect to the sightings in the Northeast, and we are vigilant in investigating this matter. The Department of Homeland.
He said that because there was a Chinese person that they caught near a base with a drone that was surveilling an American spy satellite being launched. You know, when there are people who use drones, whether they are commercial drones or not, doesn't matter, actually spying on some real shit, they get caught.
Homeland Security with the Federal Bureau of Investigation in the lead.
But there have been concerns in the past. In fact, a Chinese national was arrested in California this week, allegedly for flying a drone over Vandenberg Air Force Base. Last year, you had drone flights over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, over a nuclear facility in Nevada. So what is the national security concern right now?
Well, when a drone is flown over restricted airspace, we act very, very swiftly. And in fact, when an individual in California flew a drone over restricted airspace, that individual was identified, apprehended, and is being charged by federal authorities. And so we act as swiftly as possible when an individual does fly a drone over restricted airspace and violates the rules. You know, there are, George, more than 1 million drones.
You still grifting? Yes. Yes, I'm still grifting. Thank you for checking in.
Registered in the United States.
Fucking bot.
That's an awful lot, but bottom line, you're saying Americans have nothing to worry about?
Look, it is our job to be vigilant in the federal government with our state and local partners on behalf of the American public, and we can assure their safety by reason of that vigilance. We've deployed personnel, technology, and if there is any reason for concern, if we identify any foreign involvement or criminal activity, we will communicate with the American public accordingly. Right now, we are not aware of any. If we become aware of any, we will communicate accordingly and take appropriate action.
Secretary Mayorkas, thanks for your time this morning.
Hey, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.